Hello, internet people. So, what's up? I said I was gonna go live on Thursday. It's Thursday. I'm going live. Do I want to be live right now? Probably not, but that's okay because I'm gonna have a good time with it. I'm gonna show up and I'm gonna have a good time because that's what I do. The reason I'm doing this live is in the last couple weeks, I've gotten a lot of posts. I'll say in the last 30 days, I've gotten 2 posts that went past 1 million views. 1 post that went up to right now, it's at 2 million and counting. And then a bunch of my other newer posts are getting hundreds of thousands of interactions, engagement, shares, likes. And a few people have been asking, what did I do? What did I learn? And I want to share that. I want to talk. I want to come on and just also create more content in the process of what I've been doing with social media to grow in this way. In the last month, in the last 30 days, I've gained over 2,000 followers so far. And while that might seem like a low number, I mean, if y'all feel like it's a low number, that's on y'all. But for me, there's a very high number coming from, I was stuck between I think 1,200 and 1,600 for the last 2 years. Kid you not. I was in that range for a long time. And I was like, how do I grow? How do I gain more followers to just engage more people, share with other people what I'm doing, how I've been doing it. So I was like, okay, let me come on, share some tips, do a little Q&A, see who's live at this time. Maybe I should have went live earlier, but that's okay. Because that's one of the tips I want to share. You have to show up. Even if nobody else is on the other side. If y'all scroll down on my Instagram and go all the way back to literally the end of last year, 200 views, 100 views, 5 likes, 2 likes. And I got really discouraged in the beginning when people weren't sharing and liking and interacting with my content because I felt like, I'm going to be honest. I felt like I was on this platform specifically. I've been on Instagram for too long for people to be playing with me. Why aren't you recognizing the greatness that is me? I had this expectation that, okay, I've been on Instagram for 10 years. When did I start using Instagram? Maybe 2012, 2013, maybe even before that, right? And I'm like, okay, I've been on Instagram this long. Why don't I have hundreds of followers? Why don't I have people converting and being clients and things like that? What's up, y'all? Thanks for joining the live. Anybody that's live with me. I'm doing a little sharing of tips as well as ask me anything. So one of my most recent videos went super viral, ended up on the Shade Room, so shout outs to them. Thank you for doing that, as well as on a page called Jamaicans, Ayad and They Abroad. And I'm just coming on to talk a little bit about what are the things that I've been doing that have literally grown my page, doubled my social media following on Instagram in the last month. Literally, last 30 days, everything went crazy, everything blew up. And yeah, so what I was saying is that I just had this thought that oh, I've been here already on Instagram for so long, I should have the follower count. I should have the engagement. But realistically, I wasn't creating content like that for real. I wasn't committing to creating content the way that some people they are on it every day, no matter if it flops or if it looks good or if it gets engagement, they are showing up. And I'm I would create strategies oh, I want to engage people. I want to get followers. I want to talk to people. And I'll create these beautiful, elaborate strategies, start posting stuff. And when people weren't engaging the way I expected them to engage, I started feeling discouraged. I started falling back and saying I'm not going to make this content no more. Oh, let me pivot the strategy. And I would go start, getting into my own head, having a bunch of ideas, never recording nothing, never editing nothing. And then just consuming more and more content instead of creating content, instead of putting the content out there. I was just consuming and just expected oh, because I'm good in this one area, right? I'm a successful entrepreneur. That means I should also be a successful content creator. But I wasn't showing up in content creation the way I was showing up as an entrepreneur. Every day, I go in and I run my business. I wasn't creating content every day oh, this is something I had to do. This is something that was important to me. And so I was playing around. I was literally playing around with it. And I just expected people to pop up and be oh my God, Georgie, you're so cool. I love your content. But I wasn't being consistent with it. So how are they going to say that? That doesn't make any sense. So showing up. And then what I did earlier this year, I said, you know what? This year, I'm going to really take creating content seriously. I have good stuff to say. And I want to do that. I want to gain that following. I want to gain that engagement. So I showed up and I started doing that. And no matter if it was a few likes or whatever worked. So that's the next step. So the first tip I wanted to share was showing up. That was key. Like committing to it. Creating content is the same thing as being a content creator. Let me say that. Being a content creator is the same thing as the early stages of being an entrepreneur. You will fail. You will suck. No one will buy anything that you're selling. People don't want to know. They don't know you. They don't trust you. They don't like you. Period. But as they see you more, as you engage with them more, as you interact with them more, they're like, oh, I saw her the other day. Oh, da 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 da. And then they start sharing and engagement. And that's how you grow. But in the first few weeks, the first few months, ain't nothing happening. But the momentum adds up. And there's a good analogy I liked that I read about the other day, and I've known it for a while, but they were saying like the point of water boiling, like, and it really stuck out to me. I think it was in Atomic Habits that I saw it most recently. So I've seen it before, but the Atomic Habits is where I saw it most recently by James Clear, and he was saying that like if you're boiling water, right, at 1 degree Fahrenheit, it's on the fire, it ain't boiling up. At 2 degrees, 3 degrees, 4 degrees. And it's like at a certain temperature. Once you hit that one temperature, everything before that was not boiling. But once you hit that specific temperature, I forgot the degrees. I think it was like 32 degrees Celsius. I don't even know. Whatever that special, it's 15. It's wrong, but let's just say that for the example purposes. But everything before 15 was leading you to 15, but you weren't at the point that you wanted to be. So you feel like, oh, am I even doing anything? Am I doing anything? And then out of nowhere, it feel like overnight that everything happens, but it's a compound effect. So each one is adding on. And then when you blow up, for lack of a better word, or when you get the recognition that you've been looking for, it was that compound effect the whole time. It was adding up, and you didn't see the calculations in the background of it, but it was adding up. People were watching, people were commenting, people were engaging. And so that's kind of what happened with me, where I started this year really intentional about, I want to make more content. I want to engage with people. I'm going to be a content creator. And I just accepted the fact that it was going to suck. In the sense that, not that it was going to be bad, but accepted the fact that I'm not going to be perfect every time. Is there something in my hair? Look at that. Like, I would not, I accepted the fact that every time I went on and did something, like, I wasn't going to get thousands of views. So I'm like, listen, if 10 people view this, if one person views this, that's okay. I'm going to act like it's a crowd of tens of thousands of people. That's what I did when I first started my businesses. And that delusion, right? The Lulu is the Sululu. That delusion worked, because now I'm a well-known business person I've had dozens of businesses. I've helped, don't fall over now, phone. I've helped dozens of entrepreneurs and business owners start as well as scale their own businesses by just saying, we're going to figure this out. By any means necessary, we're going to figure this out. Let's start with what we got, start with where we are, and we're going to figure this out step by step, day by day. We're just going to try something. If it works, great. If it don't work, that's okay too. Because guess what? We're going to keep trying until something works. And that's exactly what I did. Every time. So that's the second thing. So first thing was showing up. Second thing was just being, consistent and taking a bet on myself. And then the third thing that I've been doing recently, throughout the whole time with the content creation, is don't reinvent the wheel. So that's a quote from my friend Anthony Fridge. Don't reinvent the wheel, put rims on it. And when I say that, is that there's a bunch of content creators out there that are literally in their captions giving you templates. In their comment, ebook to get this ebook. And what a lot of people do is that we'll comment ebook and then we'll get the ebook sent to our DM. We may or may not download it, or we'll see the caption and we'll hit save. How often do you go back to the stuff that you saved? How often do you really go back to the stuff that you saved? Most people don't ever go back to it. And that's really it. And so I'm just like, I know I'm good at execution. So I was like, let me lock in. Like, if I'm doing this, I'm going to do this. So any freebie I got, you best believe I downloaded that. Some of them I even printed out. I was highlighting them freebies. With the captions, steal my prompt below. I'm screenshotting that. Airdrop it into my computer, and I'm going to type up that prompt. I'm going to use that prompt. I'm going to try that prompt. Oh, stitch this sound. Oh, I'm going to save that for later. Nah, stitch it right now. Oh, I got to fix my hair. Stitch it right now. What's the worst? And the video that went most viral I had no thought in that video. I just said, I just want to say something. I didn't even know what inspired it. I just was like, I'm going to say something. And I think we were I was having a conversation with like a friend, and I was like, oh, that's funny. Like, let me talk about, time, because I'm Jamaican. I'm black and I'm a woman, and all these factors make for a combination of, oh, she always late. And I was a chronic lateness person. I was chronically late, like bad. Like if it's whatever time it was, I was just not gonna show up. And I was really purposeful about it. Yo, I want to be on time. So I started lying to myself, and whatever time the event was gonna be, I'd put like half an hour to an hour before that, so that way I could be on time. Like that was my effort, and I started making it on time, or good enough time. But being Jamaican, making it on time means you're setting up, period, point blank, period. So while in certain spaces being on time was super helpful, great business meetings, client calls, like all the other things, like the professional things, being on time helped me out. Being Jamaican though, being on time was not the smart move. So I just was like, oh, let me ask this question. My kid is in the background. Y'all probably didn't even hear it. The first couple seconds, my kid is yelling something. Who knows what she's yelling? My collar all stretched out. Like it looks, I just didn't care. And it's not that I don't care about the content. I didn't feel like I needed to make this some whole big production. I had something to say. It was content. That's what I'm doing. I'm creating content. I had content, created it, shared it out. Whatever happened, happened. And it happened. It did its thing. And after that, I was like, okay, that model worked. Let me ask another question. And anybody that knows me knows that I love to ask questions. Not because I'm nosy, I'm just curious. That's just my personality. Like, I'm going to ask questions to help you figure out what you got to do. Asking questions help me in my business. Like, my life is questions. And it's like, all right, questions. Okay. I'm going to ask another question. And I asked another question. 100,000 views. Y'all like me asking questions now. I got questions. I'm curious. Like, this is something I have an endless supply of. Another question, 20,000. Another question, 10,000. I'm like, oh, shall we ask another question? So now I'm doing a question a day, just asking a question. That's it. Asking a question. And is there a big strategy behind it? Ask the next question. Ask one next question. That's it. 1%. One more question each day and see what comes of that. I am planning to do more content stuff, and I have a series that I want to put out with entrepreneurial tips, because that's what I do. That's, the bread and butter of my content. But questions is a part of that. So I'm going to include the questions. I'm going to keep the questions and just have fun with it, right? I'm just going to keep on having fun with creating this content, and not feel like it has to be so cut and dry. Like right now, I ate dinner with my kids and I said, listen, y'all go sit down. I'm going to go on live for a few minutes. Everybody understands. I'm aware, I'm locking in, I'm committing to it, and I'm just going to do it. But so that third tip, just to bring it home, was there's resources out there, both free and paid. Take advantage of them. If you save something, go back and look at it. If you're really trying to lock in and really trying to do that or create content, whether you want to become an influencer or something of that nature, you're creating content for your business, you just enjoy creating content and connecting with others and engaging people, that's where you start. Use the resources that are out there for you. And when you've maxed out all the free resources, that means you should get your money. That means at that point, you should be generating enough income to then invest into something that is a paid thing, right? There's a bunch of paid things. And what I realized too, because I did get access to some paid things through some like promotional offers and networks and everything. And a lot of the paid stuff was the same thing in the free stuff. Take that with a grain of salt. Everybody's different. I'm not going to tell you what to do or what not to do. But from my research and my experience, a lot of the stuff that people were giving away in bite sizes, because it's the same concept. There's this concept that you could put a YouTube video out about something completely free, create an ebook that you charge $100 for it, create a course that you charge $200, and then do a coaching that you charge $1,000. Depending on the individual's capacity, if they have, or even you sell like a physical book that's like $20, it could be all the same exact information. But the person that is receiving that information, do they have time to sit down and read a book and read in between the lines and connect the dots themselves? Maybe not. So they're not going to buy the $20 book. They're going to buy the $1,000 coaching session with you, because in that call, you're going to tell them everything that they need to know, how it applies to their business, and they're just going to be done with it. Done with it. Versus, oh, I'm going to buy this book and then I got to read the book. Then I got to go do the workbooks for the book. Then I got to understand this. I got to understand that. By the time you're done, you're tired. They don't want to do that. So a lot of the stuff, the material and the information that sometimes is in paid classes are going to be in the free material, but you have to use it. If you don't use it, then that's where you have to make the investment to get the motivation, get the accountability, get the, get the, what is it called? The skin in the game, right? You invested in this thing, you spent $100 on this thing, you best believe you're going to implement some of the strategies it says. But I'm all for figuring, just getting it done. Like, this is what we're going to do. This is the plan. I want to create more content. I want to be known for the content that I create. I want to get more speaking opportunities. I want to get more brand partnerships and brand deals, because I've been getting some already, but I want to get more of those. So what do I have to do? Visibility. How do I get more visible? Create content. How do I create content? Sitting in front of a camera and talking to myself. Sometimes to myself for hours. Boom. That is the formula. Just do it. Yeah, so if there's any questions, I'm happy to answer those. Just do like a ask me anything. And I've created content. So that's the next thing too. I'll close with that. I've been creating content for a long time, like long time. Like, I've had a YouTube channel since I was like 12. Like, I have cameras, like, it's just a lot of funny stuff, but creation of content and being in front of and or behind a camera, that's my jam. I've been doing that for a while. But being a content creator in the current meaning of that word, I thought because of my past content creation activities that I just deserved the badge of being a content creator. I didn't pay attention to the fact that I had to show up as a content creator. I had to move and do things that a content creator does on a daily basis, which is create content for social media, talk to my audience, build a community, all those other pieces of it. I just thought, I've done this before, so I just deserve it to transfer over. That's not the case. So if you are trying to start creating content for your business, for yourself, or whatever reason, or whatever you're trying to start, if you're trying to start a business, don't think that whatever you did before automatically carries over. Some of it does, right? Because you're you, and wherever you go, you're going to show up as yourself. But you have to put in the work in order to reap those results. You have to read all the different free ebooks. You have to show up every day, no matter how you feeling, how you looking, right? Mental health, important, absolutely. But you have to be in it. You can't just say, oh yeah, I'm gonna be a content creator because I've created content for a while now. And that was my ignorance. I was just like, I've been creating content for 10 plus years. People should just know me. Nah, bro. Are you creating content on like the way content creators are creating right now? You're not. So I was like, oh, I got to do that. That's what I have to do. If I don't do that, am I really a content creator or just a person that creates content? That was what I asked myself. Are you a content creator or a person who creates content? Because you can be a person that knows how to swim or a person that swims, but are you a swimmer? Let me not go crazy. But yeah, that is my little share for tonight. I'm going to do more of these lives. Come on for 10, 15, 20 minutes, an hour as time goes on. But I just want to share this journey and build out loud and just talk. And everybody knows I'm an open book, as well as you're going to sometimes have to buy an ebook, and that's cool too. But I like to build and be creative and just literally, this is my curiosity. I was experimenting. So I had a lot of fun. Doing it. Am I making bank? No, I'm not off of content creation. Not yet. Let me say that. Not yet. But that is the goal. But I know, and I've accepted that this phase, this part of it is essential. This part of it, I can't skip. It's just a rite of passage. You got to go through this part. You got to go through the mud, and then it's going to go like this. So it's coming like this. And then at that boiling point, so I'm getting ready. I got to stay ready for the opportunities that are going to come and present themselves, where if I do get let's say I do land a brand deal, a couple of thousands, and then they're expecting me to pump out content, and then I'm like shy about being behind the camera or just throwing up my phone and saying something. How's that going to work? It's not going to work. That's the answer. So I hope this was helpful for someone out there. And I'm going to keep on doing this stuff. I'm going to be here. You're going to see a lot of my face, so get used to it. But I'm really enjoying this journey. I'm grateful for the opportunity to engage with people, to get people thinking, to ask questions, to incite conversation. I've always loved doing that, and I'm grateful that I get to do that with now not just smaller groups, right? What I used to do in person, but now hundreds of thousands of people online. So I'm really appreciative of the opportunity to do that. So thank you for tuning in, watching live or the replay. And I will be back. Follow me. I gotta say that more often. Follow me for more. All right, y'all. Good night.